Trekkies and Trekkers, I've got a new video for you today. Got a new item, new toy. Well, you know, here I like to bring you the newest and most up-to-date items straight from 1989. So I showed you before the Galoob figures that they made back in 1989. It was during the first and second season of Next Gen, and they were the about 3.5, 3 3/4 inch figures. They actually made them to a variety of scales so that the figures look proper. And they did make 2 vehicles to go. Well, technically they made 4. They made a little metal version of the Enterprise D and diecast Enterprise D and a diecast Ferengi Marauder ship, battleship, which I don't have those. I don't particularly care if I ever get them. I've got plenty of versions of the Enterprise around here, as well as some other Ferengi ships and stuff. But, you know, if I get them eventually one day, that'd be cool. I do want to get the other ship that goes along with this, which is the Ferengi fighter vehicle, which is more of a speculative type of thing that they came up with. But I'll show you the picture of that here in a minute. But, yeah, this was the shuttle to go along with, you see the picture there, the figures. So let me switch over. We can see here the box. I actually just noticed. I have opened this and fiddled with it a bit before. It was something I got off of eBay, and it'd been out of the box, but the box is in pretty decent condition. A few nicks and that kind of thing, but it's all good. But literally just before I started recording, I noticed something on the box that I can't stop laughing about. So let's see. This is Captain's Armed Auxiliary Ship, which I don't know why this is particularly the Captain's, but okay. Gull wing hatches open for boarding. Yes, it's DeLorean-style doors. There's a pop-up sensor unit, which we'll get to in just a little bit. Slide-out phaser cannons. Again, we'll get to that in just a little bit. Things that never showed up on the show. And then this carries 6 Star Trek Next Generation action figures. Just look at the picture for a second. You see that there's 2 seats in the front. They got a Riker sitting in one. Well, we're going to get figures out, and we're going to mess with it here in just a bit. And then there's this like trunk space. There are no chairs back there, which I think it would have been better if they'd have at least just put 2 chairs that are back to the back. It would have looked better. And then just said carries 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, facing backwards. Something, I don't know. Also would have been neat if it came with a piece of cargo, but that's a separate issue as well. But as you're gonna see here in a few minutes, the space available in the back, the only way you're going to get 4 people in there is if you pile them up like dead bodies. So, real quick, I want to show you the back of this. Starts over here. We see the picture of the figure. These are going to be the figures that they're going to make. And, of course, if you know much about the line, you know that they never got to the Romulan or the Wesley Crusher. They made Picard, Riker, Data, Geordi, Yar, Worf, the Ferengi, the Antikin, and the Soleil, and Q, which I do actually have the entire line now. I have every one of those. I do plan on making a couple of custom figures out of those, for some of these others. That'll happen at some point. Got the technical stuff here. I'll get that where you can see it. If you want to pause it and read it yourself, you can. We got 4 mission points. This is important. Just remember that. But this here, let me get that position and get, hopefully, camera to focus a little bit better, maybe not. But you see there's the Enterprise, the Ferengi battleship, and then the Ferengi fighter, which that is something I actually really want. It is really cool looking. It's shaped to look just like the Ferengi Marauder ship. But you see on the neck here, they have positioned a window, and you open it up, and it actually has 2 seats in there, like a front to back, front and back seat, like a fighter jet. And I've always thought that was really, really kind of cool. So hopefully one day I will get a hold of one of those. Every time that I do find one, they're ridiculously priced, and I can't afford $200, $300 for something like that. So first thing we pop out. Okay, we've got. We can do this a little bit at a time. Do you still have one of the decal sheets still, with the decals still on there? And I'm going to be kind of ridiculous, and what I'll be doing in the near future is scanning these, making a copy of these onto a sticker sheet, and using the ones that I make to actually put the decals on the ship, so that I can keep that decal sheet intact. It's supposed to have a second decal sheet that has the NCC ones, or where it says 1701D along the side, but it's missing that. Here is the instructions on how to put all the sheets on, or how the stickers on, how the doors open, where the guns are, where the sensor pod is. I'll show you all that here in just a minute. So let's get to the cardboard. Set that. And there's the shuttle. See it nicely from above. Like I said, it doesn't have any of the decals on it currently. It's supposed to have these sort of bluish black colored window pieces that go here, the pieces that go along the side of the nacelles. These are the panels for the inside that I'll show you here in just a minute. But first thing is the sensor pod, which is this thing on top. This has no lights, no sounds, none of that. It's all in your imagination, kids. So this pops up. You just pull it straight up. And then to deploy the sensor, you push that forward. And that's the sensor. You never saw anything like that on the show. I don't know. Sensor noise. Scanny, scanny, scan. That just pushes back in. And then down here, on both sides, is the how are they labeled? Slide out phaser cannons. That's the slide out. Now, in case you didn't see that, that's how far they slide out. About an inch. Again, this is something we never saw on the show, but it's a fascinating detail to add. So let me get this position here, and we will open up the first door. Like I said, see inside, 2 chairs in the front, and then there's that console there in the front as well, and that's where you'd have those stickers there. The turns out that the windows are sort of a transparentish blue. Let me open up the other door. You can see from the top, got those gull wing style doors. Everything open through. It has the wall in the middle, and then make sure that's on camera. And then they have the door on the back, which does fold down so that it can meet the ground and act as a sort of loading ramp to the rear bay. Which they've got a little texture on the floor in there. Nothing all that fascinating. But, yeah, so let me, we'll grab Commander Riker, and we'll put him in the seat right there. And how about we get, Geordi, and we'll stick him in on this side in the helm seat. And then, then we will get, we got Mr. Worf, and he can either get in through the side hatch here, or he can, just kind of get in the back, and Riker's falling out. But yeah, you could theoretically, I suppose, have him just not want to cooperate. His leg bent at the last second, and he didn't want to sit down. So there we go. You could have Worf sort of sitting there like that, I suppose. Are we there yet? Just sectioned off by himself. It's just sad. It's just sad. Especially when you close the door and know that Worf's just sitting back there in the trunk. I shall meditate. So this is a really cool shuttle. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that would push everybody forward, and so now they're all just there. Yeah, okay, now Worf has fallen to the back. So yeah, I will, let me see, give you a little flyby. This was a decent looking shuttle. It's kind of funny how on Next Gen, which this was the shuttle for the first season, that it was this super aerodynamic, smooth sided shuttle, and then later on the shuttles, well, they ended up like, this one right over my shoulder. They still were aerodynamic-ish, but they were very much more boxy shaped. But I haven't decided if I'm gonna get this one on the shelf. I'm obviously, if you look at my shelf back there, it's pretty full. And the other shelf there that's blocked by the 3D printer, it's getting, you can't see it right now, but it is getting full with the Playmates 9-inch figures. At some point I'll have to take a camera back there and give y'all a proper look at what I've got going on back there on the shelf. But alright, well, this has been my look at the Galoob Shuttlecraft. Hope you got a kick out of it, enjoyed seeing that. And if you got any questions about it, feel free to go look them up on Google, because I don't know the answers. I just like to show shit. And so, yeah. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Also, you can support the show by signing up on Patreon, or head over to Zazzle to pick up prints of my artwork, prints on canvas, t-shirts, and other merch. You can find me on social media. For more information and updates on the channel, all info is below. If you didn't enjoy the video, Why are you still here? Do you want a song? Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, them, 3 bags full. One for the master who can screw himself. You can listen to somebody else.